How did Qatar and America secretly deceive everyone? The truth that Trump tried to hide from the world has finally been revealed today. It's not just an ordinary peace agreement, but deals worth billions of dollars were paid under the table to Iran to ensure that the oil routes in the Strait of Hormuz remain open. Today, we reveal to you the details of a secret agreement that broke the American naval blockade. Has the war between Iran and America really ended today? Or are we just facing a long truce that will soon end with a major all-out war? All of this will be our topic today. We'll be back after the break. Stay with us. Peace and blessings be upon you. Welcome back today, God willing, to another episode of the Opinion series, which we always dedicate to following the latest developments and updates of this global conflict taking place in the Middle East between Iran and the Epstein alliance in recent days. Dear viewers, all the talk has been about the terms of the peace agreement between Iran and America, and there have been alliances. As I showed you in the previous episode, there were leaks of 14 articles, and there were also contradictory statements as usual. The Iranians say one thing and the Americans respond with something else entirely. So what were they? For example, Trump says that the naval blockade on Iran will continue until the agreement is signed next Friday. But the available American data confirms that Iranian ships are passing safely without any interference from the US Navy. But the interesting thing today, Machine, is that the end of the war and the signing of the agreement will never mean the end of this conflict. The conflict will continue. This is only a truce that will last for an indefinite period. It might be for 2 months, it might be for many months, it might be for a whole year. The important thing is that it's just a truce with no set duration. At any moment, the situation could explode again. And what's even more interesting today is that throughout this truce, there will keep being revelations about facts from earlier in the war and admissions of what really happened. Losses, events, what was happening behind the scenes and so on. For example, today it was revealed that there had been a secret geopolitical agreement involving 3 countries during this 2-month truce. There was a secret geopolitical agreement involving America, Iran, and Qatar. It was a secret agreement that wasn't revealed at the time, and it included a set of arrangements regarding the economy, energy, and trade exchanges in the most important maritime passage on the planet, meaning the Strait of Hormuz. So recently, dear viewers, when the tension was escalating between Iran and the Epstein coalition, both sides were exchanging strikes, meaning it was happening repeatedly. Iran was striking the American military bases spread across all these countries surrounding Iran. It struck the UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait, Jordan, and Iraq, but it didn't strike Qatar. Why didn't it strike? For example, Al Udeid base in Qatar, which is considered an American base. Why is that even today? A secret agreement was revealed at that time between Iran and Qatar. From America, this agreement stipulates that Qatar will release billions of dollars in favor of Iran. In return, Iran would not target Qatari territory, would not target Qatar, and in exchange, Iran would target Qatari ships by passing through the Strait of Hormuz. After paying the fees, the deal also granted Iran the right to import from Qatar whatever products it needed. The agreement mentioned billions of dollars that Qatar gave to Iran. It's a line of credit for buying products from Qatar, amounting to billions of dollars in goods. Of course, it's a huge amount that might cover Iran's needs, during these past weeks. According to what was revealed in a number of international newspapers, including the Israeli newspaper Hayom, which said that this was done with secret approval from America. America wanted to ensure that part of this Qatari gas and oil would reach international markets and thus control international prices so that these prices wouldn't rise even more. That's why America agreed to this deal, but of course this deal had a negative impact on the naval blockade that America imposes on Iran. Because first of all, it gave billions of dollars to Iran, billions of dollars, which helped Iran a lot to withstand the naval blockade, meaning it created a financial lifeline for them. Secondly, it also gave Iran the opportunity to import and export to get products and so on from Qatar. So maybe there were actually Qatari products being exported to Iran, but also maybe there were products coming into Qatar. They were allowed to enter the Gulf waters by the American forces because they were heading to Qatar, but in reality they would enter Qatar and then immediately go towards Iran. So today, when this secret agreement was revealed, this step caused a lot of criticism for Trump from the Americans. They say that this agreement is what broke the naval blockade imposed on Iran. America's strategy in this conflict, which was clear to everyone, was to use economic pressure on Iran. This strategy has been broken and is no longer effective. After this agreement, even if the blockade continues for many years, Iran will not collapse and Iran will not suffer. So today, as I said, just 2 days after or 2 days before the official signing of this upcoming agreement between Iran and America, even some of the facts and secrets that were hidden in this conflict have now been revealed. It means it's clear that the coming days will be full of such facts and confessions that will be revealed. I mean, for the first time gradually, because this war was really full of such hidden secrets and facts. And this agreement with Qatar also explains to us exactly why some commercial vessels were passing safely through the Strait of Hormuz. It reveals to us that these ships, which Trump would come out every time and say that the Strait of Hormuz was breached by the passage of a ship or an oil tanker or something else. So today it becomes clear that they were only Qatari tankers passing according to this secret agreement with Iran. There was no breach or anything like what Trump was talking about as well. This reminds us of something very important. It reminds us of what happened recently with the UAE when a plane was spotted heading from the UAE to the capital, Tehran. Then it was revealed that the UAE sent $3 billion to Iran, and after that, Iran stopped targeting the UAE. So this really suggests that there was also another secret agreement similar to the one with Qatar. It means pay tribute to Iran if you want protection in the region. And maybe there was also another similar agreement with Saudi Arabia that hasn't been revealed yet. Maybe that's why Iran has also recently avoided bombing Saudi Arabia, whether with missiles or drones. It was focusing its strikes only on Bahrain, Kuwait and Jordan. This also suggests that there might be another secret agreement, maybe with Saudi Arabia recently. Maybe it will be revealed in the coming days as well. And if everyone noticed, this was even reflected in the media and political discourse of these countries, because recently these three countries, Qatar, Saudi Arabia and the UAE, have been taking a different approach than they did at the beginning of this war. There was a clear change in the media and political discourse towards Iran. For example, the media, through the topics and questions they raise for discussion on the channels belonging to these countries. They might allocate more time to present the Iranian narrative, or on the contrary, they might allocate more time to present the American narrative, and this usually happens without anyone noticing. Of course, the average viewer probably won't notice any difference. But there are things that this journalist does that always align with the political orientation of the owner of the channel. There is always what is called media escalation, and also what is called media de-escalation. Recently, there was media and political de-escalation from Qatar and from Saudi Arabia, and then eventually the UAE also joined in. So the important thing is that this is just the beginning, but there are facts, there are secrets that will be revealed gradually during this upcoming phase. Now, as I said, we are about to enter a long truce, and this truce will be with this reality, the new reality that Iran is imposing. Because Iran, through this war, through this conflict, achieved a triple victory. It won militarily, it won diplomatically, and it won strategically. America was defeated. Why? Because it did not achieve any of the declared objectives of this war at all, and also because it lost a large part of its global influence because of this war. In the end, everyone admits today that America's reputation is the first victim of this war. It doesn't mean that it was loved before the war and then became hated, not at all. Rather, it means that it was considered a superpower in the world. It was considered unbeatable, a protector that many countries relied on for security and defense and other things. But now, it has become clear that it can be confronted and even defeated. In fact, it's even more than that. It can't even protect its own military bases. So how could it possibly protect certain countries? Now, the inevitable reality that is coming is America's withdrawal from all these bases in the Gulf region. I don't think they will be chased out by these countries. The Gulf countries won't be able to do that. Rather, it will be America. America will make this decision. America will withdraw on its own. Because these bases have become a huge burden for America. We saw what happened to these bases when America was at war with Iran. So what if this war was against China or Russia? Which, as everyone knows, these countries, they own thousands of satellites. So, this war proved that the presence of these military bases only makes them clear and specific targets for the enemy. Instead of America using them to protect the countries in the region themselves now need someone to protect them. This is a new reality that didn't exist before. A new reality that will force America in the future to quietly withdraw from the region. Maybe America knew that this could happen, and that's why we saw how it started. I mean, America is withdrawing some of its forces from a number of areas, and now maybe it's time for it to also withdraw from the Gulf region. Of course, if we talk about Netanyahu, it's a different matter. Netanyahu, even though he is completely dissatisfied with this agreement, is also unable to thwart this agreement now. Even if we try from the Lebanon front, he is unable. He will definitely stop these attacks on Lebanon when the final agreement is signed on Friday. Because Trump threatened him that he would leave him alone to face Iran, and if this scenario happens, of course Israel will disappear from the map then. Netanyahu knows this very well. But for sure, he will look for other ways to resume the intense war. He will not continue these attacks on Lebanon, but there will be other ways. He will look for other tricks. Maybe he will start another war in Syria, or maybe he will spread leaks about the agreement. Explosions, sensational leaks like what is happening today. For example, these leaks we are receiving about a secret agreement between Iran and Qatar, or between Iran and the UAE, all of these are leaks that have come out. It is clear that they came from the Israeli intelligence, which leaked such details to the media. So, for example, there is also what is called today the $300 billion trap. This $300 billion trap that came in this upcoming agreement between Iran and America. Among the clauses, there is one that we talked about, which is the necessity of injecting $300 billion into the Iran Reconstruction Fund. In other words, it is compensation for war. Everyone sees this clause as impossible to implement. Who in America? And Trump's deputy J.D. Vance said in a statement today that this amount will be paid by the Gulf countries collectively, not America. He said that America will not pay anything to Iran. But are the Gulf countries really in agreement with that? Are they really ready to pay this amount as war compensation? The ones who started this war are America and Israel. They are the ones who should pay the compensation, not the Gulf countries in the first place. They should also demand war compensation from America and Israel as a result of what they have been through. I mean, because of these military bases spread across their lands. That's why it's said that this clause is a big trap, that it will be a reason for not adhering to the terms of the agreement and for the return of war again. Israel, of course, will exploit this particular point. Iran knows this very well. Iran knows that this agreement will not be final or decisive and that it must be patient. But it also needs this truce. It needs this truce to recover financially, to revive its economy, and to prepare for the major war, to get ready for the big war. Not just on the military level, but also on the economic level, the level of funding, finances, and so on. This conflict, which has lasted for more than 3 months, was a real test. In it, Iran identified all the shortcomings that need to be overcome in future conflicts and wars, so it will work to address these shortcomings in the coming period. The truce period, it's only a matter of time, but the war will definitely return, even if after a while. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings. See you next time.